#1 in Southern California, Channel 7 KABC TV, Los Angeles. Now, Paul Moyer, Ann Martin, Dallas Raines weather, and Todd Donahoe sports. When news happens, you see it happen on Eyewitness News tonight.
Showdown at Parker Center. Charges being leveled that Chief Gates demoted a top assistant for talking to the Christopher Commission. Good evening, everybody. It's now 11 o'clock. The anti-Daryl Gates drive is intensifying at City Hall tonight. Linda Moore with us reports on allegations that the embattled police chief is searching his ranks for so-called enemies. Linda.
Well, that's one version of the story. There are many versions right now. The background is this. Assistant Police Chief David Dotson was one of the many police officers called before the Christopher Commission to talk about the department. And his testimony was critical of the way the LAPD is run. Yesterday, Gates, who now has read that testimony, reportedly gets in a yelling match with Dotson. And then today, Gates takes away some of Dotson's responsibilities. And tonight, LA Councilman Zev Yaroslavsky says this is clearly an act of retaliation by the hurt and angry chief.
He's in a siege mentality. He's lashing out at people he thinks are his adversaries. As the chief law enforcement officer of this city, for him to be in that state of mind is a very dangerous thing, and I'm very concerned.
We have obtained a copy of Assistant Chief Dotson's testimony, and in it, Dotson does say to the commission that the LAPD has not had very effective leadership at the top. Yesterday, Gates responded on KABC radio, saying that you would have thought I would have heard that directly from them, and on the talk show appeared to lash out at several of his chief deputies who spoke to the commission. Another of the many revealing comments made by Dotson, that in his judgment, the LAPD is suffering from a bit of a time warp, stuck in a 1950s worldview. But specifically, what Gates from Dotson was his supervision of the Internal Affairs Department, which is one of the recommendations of the Christopher Commission, that Internal Affairs be run by someone at a lower level than an assistant chief. Gates says he's simply beginning to implement the suggested reforms. Yaroslavsky says if that's the case, then Gates should start at the top with himself and step aside. No, the councilman just doesn't buy the chief's defense.
I am convinced that this is not only intended to damage and punish Chief Dotson for his honest and candid testimony before the Christopher Commission, but also to intimidate the rest of the officers of the department to adhere to a code of silence in the future.
Mayor Tom Bradley, in a statement tonight, also says it is tragic that someone who told the truth is faced with this kind of intimidation. Again, an LAPD spokesperson for Daryl Gates says this is all being misunderstood.
Well, it doesn't stop there. Linda, we've got more on all of this tonight. The man who first promoted Daryl Gates to higher leadership within LAPD is now urging that the chief quit. State Senator Ed Davis, who was LA Police Chief, named Gates as his top assistant, says now it's time for a changing of the guard at Parker Center. Davis's comments came during an interview on KABC Radio.
You have the massive investigation of the Christopher Commission and its very damning findings and its recommendations, and I think the fat lady has sung.
Daryl Gates replaced Davis as police chief when Davis retired from the force back in 1978. Paul.
More news tonight and another police matter. The department has temporarily grounded its air support unit. The fleet of 18 helicopters is based on the roof of the city-owned Piper Tech building on Ramirez Street. Most of the aircraft are Bell Jet Rangers, but 4 are French-made, similar to the one that crashed near the Los Angeles Coliseum last month, killing 2 officers. The grounding is described as technical, not mechanical, for ongoing precautionary inspection. Law and Order has won a major victory on Capitol Hill tonight, where the U.S. Senate passed a sweeping anti-crime package. The legislation would impose the death penalty for a total of 51 crimes. It would curb death row appeals, toughen penalties for drug dealing, and impose a waiting period for handgun purchases. It passed the Senate by a vote of 71 to 26. The focus now switches to the House, where the Judiciary Committee is drafting its version of a crime bill. Ann?
Well, they said it would be one of the most spectacular eclipses of this century, and by all accounts, it certainly lived up to its billing. Mother Nature did play a few tricks, clouding over some of the prime observation sites in Hawaii. But just in time, the clouds parted at the big Mauna Kea Observatory, and this is what they saw as the moon completely eclipsed the sun for 4 minutes. It was a windfall for science. It could take years to analyze the data gathered in these few critical moments. And it was also a very moving, emotional experience that the people who saw it will never forget in their lifetimes. From Hawaii, the path in which you could see the total eclipse left a narrow band. It moved westward, and about an hour later, the band of visibility hit Baja California. Our Charmaine Wilkerson caught it there.
You might be able to see a little bit of bluntness on one end. Naked eye.
Just some of the people at this international gathering of stargazers in La Paz, Mexico. The Josevich family drove their van all the way down from Cupertino in Northern California. They waited for the eclipse at the State University in La Paz. Others waited at beaches and campsites all over Baja California Sur, as they did in mainland Mexico, in Hawaii, and in parts of Central and South America. The reaction was strong from the moment the moon's shadow crossed the sun. The sky darkened, the air cooled, and people went wild.
Unreal. My shoulders, I could just feel the heat just disappear. When it dropped temperature, it was unreal. Fantastic. And now it's just eerie as can be. It's cool. And in a few minutes, it's going to be about 90 degrees.
In the evening, we had a second sunset for the day, the first being around midday during the eclipse, when everywhere you looked, there was a band of orange on the horizon, bordering a dark blue sky. Reporting from La Paz, Mexico, Charmaine Wilkerson, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Well, you probably saw it here. You know that here in Los Angeles, 69% of the sun disappeared shortly before 11:30 this morning. And if you looked very closely, not directly, but it did seem to get dimmer even on this hazy day in the Southland. Thousands gathered to watch it at Griffith Park. And the eclipse, they saw it through special viewing devices.
It's like a historical event, and you want to be part of it, even though you're not going to have a total eclipse. It's just being part of the action.
This is a chance of a lifetime. I mean, it's not going to happen again where I am.
Now, the National Weather Service says the temperature in Los Angeles actually fell 2 to 3 degrees as the eclipse reached its peak. And I was outside, that's what I noticed. It got a little dimmer, but it got a lot cooler where I was.
Definitely cooler, and that's how we knew.
Yes.
Well, the eclipse is over, but the world, you might say, continues to turn, and some of the news is not so pleasant. Topping tonight's World News Roundup, a deadly plane crash in Saudi Arabia. A chartered DC-8 jet carrying 264 people exploded in a ball of fire in an emergency landing at Jeddah. After the pilot reported a fire in the landing gear, there were no survivors on that crash. Most of the victims were pilgrims from Nigeria trying to go home after a visit to Mecca.
There are reports tonight that from Iraq that Saddam Hussein has launched a new wave of purges, executing scores of high-ranking military officers, many of them Shiite Muslims. Saddam may fear a coup, knowing many Iraqis blame him for the economic stranglehold of the UN sanctions. More progress in nuclear arms talks, with a treaty now very close, they tell us. This after President Bush and Secretary of State Baker met with the Soviet Foreign Minister Bismarck. Today in Maine, Mr. Bush met with Japanese Prime Minister Kaifu, announcing he will visit Japan in November.
And it is not all smiles and handshakes for Clarence Thomas on Capitol Hill. Black members of Congress have voted 20-1 to oppose his nomination to the Supreme Court. His critics claim that Thomas did not fully enforce anti-discrimination laws when he was head of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission.
Well, we got our baseball back. We've got the commissioner, and he's got some trivia.
That's right. Dodgers Angels back in action tonight. You know, all week long we've been talking about Ted Williams and the 50th anniversary of him hitting .406. We asked the question tonight, name the 2 Major League Baseball players to hit 400 or over 3 times in their careers, and that is the most. That's since 1900. Boy, the solar eclipse, does it have the same effect as a full moon? I mean, we've got some atrocious plays tonight on our highlight reel, some great ones as well. Jealousy in Texas high school football goes too far, and the movies meet sports in our sports history segment coming up later on tonight.
Sports goes to the movies,
There you go.
Or movies go to the
sports.
Okay, fine. Good. Dallas Raines has the forecast coming up pretty soon. Police call this man the B.O. Bandit for reasons which we will explain. And mysterious circles start showing up in a field in Oklahoma. Coming up.
I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, today's spectacular eclipse underscores one of nature's wonders and mysteries, the power and fury of the sun.
For 75 years, Mitsubishi Motors' diamond emblem has symbolized its unbending standard of quality. Introducing the highest expression of that standard, the Diamante, where meticulous design and craftsmanship lead to extraordinary comfort and driving pleasure. Yamati, the new luxury performance sedan from Mitsubishi. The word is getting around.
Everyone agrees. The ET ride is out of this world.
I got on a bike and I rode with ET.
The special effects are great. It's spectacular.
It's for everyone. It's great.
I've never flown like this before.
She said my name.
Oh. Ride the movies at Universal Studios Hollywood.
I love ET.
Uncertain about her future, Pam wore a velour scoop neck top and black rubberized leggings under her wedding dress. She also hid a long black leather motorcycle jacket in the quiet room. A-line and Klein.
It's GMC Truck Summer Show and Sell. We'll show you this summer's big selection of new GMC trucks, like this new SLT Jimmy with standard four-wheel anti-lock brakes and elegant leather trim interior, the sporty Sonoma, Safari with available full-time all-wheel drive, or Sierra with the highest resale value of any full-size pickup. Then we'll sell you with big summer values. GMC Truck Summer Show and Sell. Find out what's happening at your GMC truck dealer today.
This summer, everyone's going to Sherwood Forest. See the most popular summer movie in America. Kevin Costner is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
The FBI has arrested a man with a tax grudge as their suspect in the bombing of 2 Internal Revenue Service offices. FBI and IRS got a search warrant late today to go through a house in Costa Mesa for evidence. That house identified as the home of Darrell Hicks, a 45-year-old aerospace engineer who's charged with planting a bomb in a truck across from the West LA IRS office just last year. He's also charged with lobbing 13 bombs at the Fresno IRS office in April. Agents say that Hicks was denied $9,000 in tax deductions several years back. Paul.
Well, the FBI is hot on the scent of a Southern California bank robber who has a certain aura about him. This grainy picture from a bank TV camera really doesn't do him justice. He's over 6 feet, about 40, and dresses casually, but what sets him apart, way apart, is his body odor. His latest heist at an Oceanside bank today was the latest of 11 robberies with a net haul of $12,000. He uses a note each time, which is just as well with the tellers. They say he reeks of assorted and exotic smells, of which tobacco is the gentlest. Might say his M.O. is B.O.
Well, moving right along. 6 weeks guaranteed vacation for good behavior. Sound like a good idea, 6 weeks off every year. Believe it or not, that is the idea being promoted in a possible ballot initiative for 1992. To get your 6 weeks vacation every year, you'd have to meet 5 of these 6 conditions. Have a high school diploma, be a registered voter, don't take more than 80 hours of sick leave every year, no drunk driving or drug convictions, no smoking on the job, and you got to use public transportation at least 80% of the time to get to work. 5 out of those 6, and you get 6 weeks off a year. I think a lot of people would vote for that.
It's kind of like the lotto, you know, 5 with a bonus and you got it. I mean, you're in there. Okay, a young man who tried to get from Chicago to Milwaukee the hard way was rescued today 17 miles off the Illinois shoreline in Lake Michigan. Police say the 24-year-old Dirk Steen has been drifting for about a week. He said he didn't have the bus fare for Milwaukee, so he decided to paddle up on an air mattress, provisioning the makeshift raft with potato chips, pretzels, and bottled water. Well, he overturned twice, lost his bearings once when he fell asleep, and was pushed further out into the lake by a storm. All in all, though, police say this guy's in pretty good shape. I'd say he's lucky to be around.
And we continue now with Is It a Close Encounter of the Third Kind report here. Some people think that aliens from outer space have landed in Fargo, Oklahoma. 2 mysterious 30-foot rings have been discovered on Floyd Steiner's farm. Floyd says nothing will grow within the circles, and Oklahoma's chapter of the UFO network thinks that aliens from outer space are trying to communicate with us Earthlings. If so, Farmer Floyd is not getting the message. Floyd says he wants to put a fence around the whole thing and sell the dirt so that he can finally make some money in farming. He might as well sell it because nothing grows in the circles.
Well, of course, you know, Field of Dreams, build the field and they will come. Maybe it's one of those. Probably not.
Maybe.
Yeah, what a reaction to that one, huh? Next up, Dallas Raines with a forecast for the weekend. It's almost here.
What they won't do in commercials these days by Miller Lite, I mean, they resort to all sorts of tactics, brainwash. Now, take Miller Lite, 6-pack. They would have you believe that it's America's favorite light beer because it has great Pilsner taste. Gonna love it. Well, at the same time, they try to convince you that it's because it's less filling. Tastes great. I mean, come on, by Miller Lite. What do they take me for, Big Star? Seriously.
Is Miller Lite America's favorite because it's less filling or tastes great? Yes.
Hi, your place. Would you like to join me for a light? Your treat, it's on me.
Okay, but it's my treat.
Oh, great. Okay.
Call now and get a hot deal on a Domino's Pepperoni Pizza Feast, packed with pepperoni and loaded with cheese. Call Domino's now and get a medium pepperoni pizza feast for only $8.99 and get another one for only $4 more.
Things do go bump in the night. There are boogeymen. Fortunately, Sealy's exclusive Posturepedic sleep system is designed to support everyone differently. More comfortably. To keep your night from becoming your worst nightmare. For a better night's sleep, better sleep on a Sealy.
Sealy Posturepedic on sale at the Broadway.
I think a lot of people in Southern California are like me. They like their job okay, and they're glad they have something to keep them occupied between weekends. My Nissan is the perfect weekend truck. It's got 153 horses, so it hauls all my toys, and still has room for dinner. This Nissan truck will take you just about anywhere you want to go, and even some places you don't.
Right now, you could save up to $1,500 with factory-to-dealer incentives.
Okay, Dallas thinks he knows what those things are in Oklahoma that cause the circles.
I don't know what they are, but I've read a few articles. I mean, a lot of scientists think they're like ball lightning. They've been seen by pilots and all. They're moving along, and it's like a plasma thing, and when it hits, it spins around. And
a ball of lightning just floating
like a ball
along.
Lightning thing. And ball lightning is very little understood about that. We understand regular lightning, like fork lightning, yes. Or it could be UFOs landing.
It certainly could.
It could be, or it could be the guys building the baseball field.
Yeah, that's true.
No, it
too.
couldn't be.
Paul's theory sounds the best anyway. You know, today, of course, was very exciting. And you know, one thing that just about everybody experienced was the cooling of the temperatures.
Right.
Did you notice that?
Absolutely.
Just about everybody did. Take a look at our graphic we have for you. You can see some of the temperatures. The airport during the eclipse dropped from 70 to 66.5. Palm Springs dropped 3 degrees. Now look up at Crestline in the clear air and the lower humidity. 7 degrees, and Newhall dropped 4. So it was very strange, wasn't it? And it was very exciting.
Yes.
It is over, and we won't see it for a while, but it was great. All right, clear skies tonight, 64 degrees, humidity at 84%. Barometer is steady at 29.99. Now, take a look at the forecast around the state for tomorrow. Headed up for the weekend to Yosemite. Some scattered afternoon thunderstorms, 90 degrees. Lake Tahoe at 78. Hot out in the desert areas, anywhere from 112 to 115 Colorado River. For tomorrow, air quality looks pretty good in most areas. Some poor air will occur through the inland valleys tomorrow, and a possibility of some first stage alerts tomorrow afternoon. Now, satellite view shows those old clouds that were pesky today over Hawaii, causing problems when viewing the eclipse. Here are the temperatures tomorrow. Palmdale, 100. Pasadena should hit 85. Clouds down in the tropical area. We're watching for any tropical storms developing. So far, nothing of any consequence. Thunderstorms are heavy today over the northern plain states down through Georgia and Florida. Now for the surf. Huntington Pier, only 1 to 3. Now, it's not good tomorrow, but we're expecting some energy out of the south for Saturday afternoon and Sunday. So surf should pick up on south-facing beaches over the weekend. Early morning clouds tomorrow, hazy sunshine, 80, 85, 93 in the valleys. Typical July weather for us here. Thunderstorms will start increasing along the Colorado River and moving through the desert areas by Sunday and Monday. Until then, same thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Those circles have showed up in England, too, haven't
Yes,
they?
they have. They've shown up everywhere.
Oklahoma's not the first place.
That's right.
More on that later, but next, Todd's got sports. The Angels start the second half of the season hosting the Bronx Bombers, and the Dodgers hit the road in Canada. Coming up.
If you order a suit designed around the way you're built, you have to wait about 2 months. If you want a house designed around the way you live, the wait is 2 years. But if what you desire is a car designed around the way you drive, you don't have to wait another day. The 1991 Acura Legend Coupe. Thanks to special lease rates, getting into a Legend Coupe or Legend Sedan has never been easier.
Everyone's in love with Henry.
He bought a dog.
One of the best movies of 1991. The most remarkable and extraordinary movie of the summer.
I don't remember what I was like, Sarah.
Harrison Ford gives a brilliant performance, certain to be Oscar-worthy.
I want us to be a family.
An unforgettable screen event. Hilarious, heartwarming.
Yeah, stop it.
A triumph for Mike Nichols.
Big kiss. Okay.
Regarding Henry, rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
We know how hard you work. We'll work that hard for you. We believe in putting people first in everything we do. Every time we fly, every mile of sky, everything we do. U.S. Air begins with you.
The beauty of a big Ford truck.
You just fill it up, and you can go over 100 miles farther than a Chevy. He hates stopping for gas.
A Ford costs less.
It's cheaper to buy than a Chevy, and it's worth more when you trade it in. Not that you ever would.
It's the best seller in California.
Can we squeeze this in?
Here's a little something to take the squeeze off your wallet.
The Terminator is back. Come to Subway, buy a 32-ounce drink, and you'll get a Terminator 2 Collector's Cup free. But hurry, before it's too late.
All right, we're back to playing baseball, and we got football. We got everything today.
Yeah, but let's start with the second half of baseball
All right,
first.
let's go.
Plus, you know, all week long we've been talking about the 50th anniversary of Ted Williams, batting .406 in 1941. And so we asked the question tonight, what two Major League Baseball players hit 400 3 times in their careers? That, of course, is a record, and this is since 1900, okay? Since 1900. Answer in about 4 minutes. Great evening to you. Bob Ojeda hits his first Major League home run, and Brett Butler keeps his hitting streak alive at 22 games. You figure the Dodgers win. Not so. They lose 3-2 to the Expos. To Montreal we go. Here it is, top of the second inning. Expos lead it 2-0, but Bob Ojeda, 2-run home run. First career Major League home run for the pitcher. It was 2-2. Dodgers blew some scoring opportunities. Top of the third, score tied at 2. A chance to take the lead, but Eddie Murray should have stayed at third. Comes home out by a mile at the plate. It stays tied. Bottom of the third, though, Ivan Calderon with a solo shot to left field winds up being the game-winning home run, 3-2 at that point. Then top of the sixth, chance to take the lead for the Dodgers. Bases loaded. Brett Butler with the bouncer up the middle, but watch the great play by Delino DeShields. Touches the bag to get the force out right there. And that got him out of the inning, and the Dodgers lose 3-2. But Cincinnati loses as well, so the Dodgers still 5 games up in first place. Steve Avery perfect through 6 innings. Atlanta wins tonight. The Mets have now won 8 in a row. Dwight Gooden, his 1,500th career strikeout. Houston over Chicago, and Lenny Dykstra due back on Monday for Philadelphia. Meanwhile, the Angels against the Yankees, and quite frankly, the Angels just didn't have any hits tonight. Well, okay, they had 1 hit. They had 1 hit, but that was it. Top of the second inning, Bernie Williams. Base hit scores Jesse Barfield, 1-0. That's all the offense that the Yankees needed tonight because Scott Sanderson, a one-hitter. He only gave up Luis Polonia's double in the 4th inning. And here in the 9th, Donnie Hill, ground ball to Don Mattingly. Watch the play. The flip back to Sanderson covering first. Great play. 2-0 Yankees beat the Angels. And the Angels fall 3 games out of first place now, not behind Texas, who lost, but behind Minnesota, who beat Boston 7-3 tonight. Milwaukee over Chicago 5-1. It's Oakland beating Baltimore, so the A's are 2.5 games out of first place. Kansas City 9-5 over Detroit. By the way, the Royals acquired Todd Benzinger for Carmelo Martinez, and Seattle over Cleveland 6-0. You've seen the scores. To the highlight reel we go now. And I don't know, maybe the solar eclipse has the similar effect that a full moon does on the baseball diamond. Because watch Kevin Reimer here out in left field. I mean, he should have this ball. The ball goes right by him to the wall. He doesn't touch it, so it is ruled. Are you ready for this? An inside the park home run for Rance Mulliniks. Mark Carrion of the Mets, solar eclipse. Tim Tuffle, solar eclipse. How about Dave Magadan striking out? Benito Santiago throws the ball back. That's great, but it was only 2 outs, not 3. Runners advance Benito. Meanwhile, we did have some great plays. Randy Reddy of the Phillies right there. How about Steve Finley of the Astros? U.S. Women's Open shot of the day by the amateur Kelly Robbins. Pat Bradley's a first-round leader at 2 under par. Meg Mallon is 1 under. Betsy King 3 over. But look at Robbins right here, almost the hole-in-one. And the Tour de France, Greg LeMond in 3rd place, 1:07 back of Thierry Marie. Here we go with our Take a Hike, and it comes from Houston, Texas. Now, they take high school football very seriously in Texas, but this is ridiculous. A quarterback by the name of Eric Gray, he's going to be a senior at Aldine High School. Last year, they won the Texas 5A state championship. This past weekend, he was shot in the leg. The reason, according to teammates who say they know who shot Eric, was jealousy. They're jealous of his talents. Gray will be a senior this season. Rams top draft choice Todd Light, a no-show today at the Rams mini camp. And, of course, Todd Marinovich still a holdout with the Raiders. This date in sports history, July 11th, 1924. That's right. It was Eric Little winning the 400-meter race at the Paris Olympics. His rivalry with Harold Abrams is made into a movie, Chariots of Fire. Little wouldn't run the 100-meter dash because it was held on Sunday. And, of course, that was the Sabbath day, and he was a devout Christian. And that does it in sports.
What a great movie that was.
Oh, what a fabulous, my favorite sports movie.
Won Best Movie, too, didn't it?
It was. Academy Award winner, I believe, 1982.
Okay.
Yeah.
Answer the trivia question 2 times.
Well, there's a long list
times.
you could use, and this is guess, but I'm going to say Ty Cobb and Hornsby.
It is. Ty Cobb in the American League, Rogers Hornsby in the National League. Those are the only 2 guys to have hit 400 3 or more times.
Picked them out of just a long list.
They also have the highest career batting averages lifetime Major League Baseball, the 2 highest.
Ah.
So there you go.
There you go. Ah.
Good work.
Yeah, start off baseball season with a win in the trivia.
Second half of baseball season.
Second half of baseball season, you're right. Funny how time flies,
Yes.
isn't it? And it has, and that's it. Good night. See you tomorrow.